Today we're going to be interviewing a Dogecoin kid, Lisa from Up Worldwide. And today we have the beautiful Miss from Crypto here tonight with us. Today we have Ken Bozak.
Foundation, Rarible, OpenSea, and charged particles.
Speaking from a Gen Z's perspective.
So why do these people buy this
collection? I work with an artist out of...
Wait till you see my other outfits.
And we're live. What's going on out there, Metaverse? What's going on? It's your boy, Token Gamer. I'm joining you here on stage with Starpause. We're going to have an interesting talk here for Blockchain Universe. This is Yummy NFTs. We do this every single Tuesday in alt space. Check us out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We got a bunch of lovely people in the audience. Let me see some emojis. Show us some love. We're here surrounded by all of Starpause's art all across the room, looking lovely. Got some lovely people out there. Come on back, Starpause, don't leave me.
I was just excited about the people. I wanted to say hi to everybody.
I feel you, brother. So let them know who you are and what you're doing in this space, brother.
Cool. Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm Starpause. I have been doing digital art and music for a long while and got into NFTs in a big way last year. So I run an art and tech collective called Kodame that's been going on for 10 years, and we're based in San Francisco Bay Area. Last year when COVID hit, we were turning all our programming online. So like workshop we run, like the nightlife events we always do, we started doing online with like virtual environments and things like that. And our curator at the time was like, hey, let's do NFTs. So that was like a big turning point for us when we saw in a couple of months more sales for our artists than we had seen in the previous like 10 years combined. So that was like kind of in NFTs was last year, like summer last year. And then it's been a really wild ride because from there I kind of got sucked into the crypto space and have been actually like working at Near Protocol. It's a layer one chain, and been working at the labs there, turning projects, tooling, etc., into like companies basically, and helping them stand on their own as like standalone companies, and then specifically working a lot with DAWs. So I run the Astro DAO program there. So decentralized autonomous organizations is what I'm up to day in, day out, DAO. And yeah, that's
whoa. Before you
that.
continue going down that road, because I don't want to lose people on the DAOs. You broke it down, decentralized autonomous organization. But for some that are brand new in the space and are just learning what NFTs are, let's break down what are DAOs and how DAOs and NFTs may even collaborate.
Yeah. So a decentralized autonomous organization, can break it down into those words of like, you got decentralized autonomous organization. Organization, pretty easy to understand. That could be like a club, it could be a company, it could be a foundation, it could be a group of friends, it could be anything. Like organizations, easy to imagine what an organization is. Decentralized, if we look at decentralized, that can refer both to the geography, like anywhere in the world. People who are part of that organization can be anywhere in the world. It also refers to like the power structure. So decentralizing the power from like a centralized figurehead to the people.
One person at the top, like the CEO, to breaking it down to the entire group having the power rather than one person, right?
Yep, exactly. So based on that, when the people are in power, they don't have to pay managers, and everybody gets more value out of what they put into it. And then
autonomous, meaning that you could just utilize voting structures automatically within the program utilizing an app, right? So decentralized autonomous organizations. It looks like you're working with some on the Near protocol. Tell us a little bit how you gravitated towards Near, and I didn't even know there were DAOs on Near. How did you get involved with that space, and how does it intertwine with what you're doing with NFTs?
Yeah, so actually, like I said, my art and tech organization was kind of my path into this whole world. And after running an organization for 10 years, there's certain like things that you have to do, paying artists out, all these things. It's like that's what you want to do, but it's also a lot of paperwork and a lot of work. So we're looking at like, okay, what's the next stage? What's the next evolution for this organization? And that the DAOs were like a big part of that. Of us, where we were already operating kind of like a DAO. Like every year, we would go to our community and be like, "Hey, what do people need in the arts community? How can Kodame best serve those people?" And based on that, we would like change our programming for the next year. And we're already kind of like involving the community and running the organization. The DAO was just a way to formalize that. And so DAOs on Near are actually like quite vibrant, and there's over 100 active DAOs, and I'd say about half of those are arts organizations and are like art collectives, and they're like curator DAOs or people that are collecting art, making art together, things like that, music labels. And so through those DAOs on Near, there's actually been probably like, I think it always goes up and down because price of Near changes, but it's something like $10 million has like been distributed through the DAOs on Near this year. And that's to like over 100 DAOs, but there's like between 1,000 and 2,000 people involved in those DAOs. So overall, you look at that and it's like a pretty lucrative space to be involved in for the artists and for anybody who's like sharing their skills. And one of the things I like about DAOs is it's another avenue for artists to make money in the blockchain space. I always tell artists, yes, sell your NFTs, like definitely take advantage of that. But also look at what like you can do in the DAO space because there's a lot of like bounties out there and creative work is being rewarded in crypto if you like go and look at it.
Yeah, man, there's so much going on in this space, guys. I was just talking to some people earlier. Last week, I was up in New York for NFT NYC. Did you get to go or check it out?
Didn't get to go. I'm so sad. Yeah. Looks like a
Yeah,
blast.
man, it was amazing. Such an experience. I got to go last year in 2020. There was like one venue, there was about 500 people. There was probably like one ad in Times Square on the billboards that talked about NFTs. That's like all that could be afforded back then. Now,
Yeah.
18 months later, we're talking about four different venues, 30,000 people with 20,000 on reserve. And I want to say there was at least 30 different billboards spread out through the entire 5 day period filled with just NFT stuff, not just from NFT NYC, but so many different companies that were NFT related promoting their NFTs all on Times Square billboards. And it was just astonishing
Nuts.
to see the space grow so much in so little time. And I keep telling people, guys, it's still early. If you feel like what we're talking about is, too far over your head, or, too much, guys, this is still really, really early. It's okay, ask questions, learn, absorb like a sponge, gather as much information as you can. It's not just for artists. There's musicians that I've met. I want to say 2020, I probably met like 4 or 5 musicians in the NFT space. This year, I met like 50 NFT musicians that already minted their music. We're talking about making an NFT concert. I got art galleries planned. We got one that we're going to be a part of. I finally got the build from Elisa. Guys, we're working on a art gallery called Aganomaly. It's going to be astonishing. It's looking great. I can't wait to put it all in space. We're looking at anywhere between November 20th and most likely around Art Basel. We'll get a hard date set soon, but chances are I think we're gonna land on Art Basel since it just makes sense to go with Art Basel, right? It's gonna be around that time frame. So gonna be some great stuff going on in this space. All right, looks like we got a question. First time in here, we are the owner of the Third Planet Studio, looking to upgrade our virtual music venue and checking this place out. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Binks. If you got any questions, go ahead and let me know. I will actually also give you guys the option to drop some questions. I just hit the button, so you should see a little hand raise button. Go ahead and hit that button if you guys got any questions for me or Starpause, and we'll gladly answer it. But yeah, so let's continue to. Actually, we already got a question. Somebody was quick to jump on it. Mark,
yeah.
go ahead. You're on air, brother.
Yeah, so you guys were mentioning DAWS, and I was just wondering if, for someone who's not as familiar with DAWS, but I'm really comfortable moving around the NFT space. But as it comes to DAWS, like what would be a few of the ones that you would recommend checking out first to start to look at investing into these communities and start to look at really understanding, like, because my challenge is there's just a lot of them, so it's where do you invest the time and energy to make it worth it?
Yeah.
Before you answer the question,
yeah, go ahead.
Not to like correct you or anything like that, but just like a little tweak that keeps getting me. You're saying DAWS, it's DAOs, DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. But yeah, go ahead and answer his question, please.
Yeah. As an electronic musician, I hear DAW, and I'm like, yeah, digital audio workstation. Like, let's.
Yeah, maybe in Ableton. That's why I was saying that. I had a little brain fart there.
Yeah,
all good.
All good. Yeah. So the first place I suggest people like take a look is CreateBase. They've got a Twitter, they've got a Telegram room, and CreateBase is like a really welcoming spot to pop in and to start orienting yourself like in the space to figure out what sense you could like learn something new or where your skills could be applied. Besides CreateBase, there's also one that's called the Open Web Sandbox, and that's another one that's great to pop into. And they have like tons and tons of bounties for you to check out, and it's a very welcoming community. In between like CreateBase and Open Web Sandbox, most people figure out like where they belong or where their energy could go, or like what makes sense to be investing in. Open Web Sandbox is more like skill based usually, so like people that are doing like writing or doing graphic design, sharing their UX skills. On Near, there's also a bunch of different space guilds for doing like even legal advice or getting development help, things like that. So um, like Open Web Sandbox and CreateBase. CreateBase tends to be more just like creative output. Like that's where the NXM music label DAO came from, was from CreateBase. And actually like Kodame started with CreateBase, and that's how we kind of like found our way in the space. And we're like, oh, we need to be a DAO because this is how we're already operating in the real world. And this just gives us some structure online, some tools to run our stuff better. So that's like, yeah, I would say like CreateBase, who has a Twitter and chat room, and Open Web Sandbox, who has a Discord and is also on Twitter.
I don't think he's
got some more friends that just joined in. Thank you guys for joining us. Got Starpause on the stage. I made it available for you guys to raise your hand, ask a question anytime. Previous question from Mark was asking about DAOs, which Starpause is a part of a bunch of DAOs on the Near blockchain. I also say it's great to find some DAOs really, really early. I'll go ahead and boast about one that is not even in the DAO phase yet. We're kind of doing like a tier stage before we get there. I love boasting about it. It's because it's our community. It's Ken Bozak, one of my one of my closest friends in the blockchain space. He got into NFTs, really early, started minting NFTs, really just connecting with artists like Starpause, and basically just said, hey, if you make an art piece of me smoking weed, I'll go ahead and sell it for $4.20, and we'll sell 420 of them, right? So he'd mint that and sell it. That's about almost $1,800 that would go straight to the artist. And then all he wants is the after sales market. So every time somebody resells one of those pieces, imagine you buy one for $4.20. flip it, sell it for $5, $10, $20. I think the highest I've seen someone sell one of the $4.20 pieces was like $160. He sold some for $1,000, then that resold for $10,000. This market just keeps going. Anywho, what he's decided to do now, before we get to the DAO part, he has gotten this crazy economy where it's just like anytime he mints an NFT, it almost instantly sells out. And it's just amazing to try and pick up one of his drops. It's crazy. It's like 3, 2, 1, it's already sold out. Like that's how fast his art pieces sell. So what he decided to do now, since there's just so many people that want to either collab with him or buy his art pieces but can't because they keep selling out so fast, he decided to both create his own token as well as create a membership. I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of these membership, PFP platforms like Bored Ape Yacht Club, and there's all of these different communities that are forming around NFTs. My buddy Ken Bozak has a community membership token that you guys can jump on now. Check it out. It's brobros420.com. You can be able to pick it up for 420 USD. And you can buy it with Wax token. Really cool membership. It's not just getting you NFTs. You're going to be able to get access to events IRL and in VR. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you'll be able to do with this token. Super excited for the Bros and what he's doing with this space. And I know that in the roadmap coming up next, they're planning on going from just memberships to also a DAO. So get in early while we're just in the membership phase, and you'll get access to the DAO before it even launches. So always great to get into stuff before it launches. It looked like King Raw had a question, but I didn't see that you had clicked the raise your hand button. If you look down to the bottom right, go ahead and click that button. There you go. Go ahead and ask your question, brother. You're live.
First and foremost, when I came in, I wasn't sure if he was on Amplify or not because I couldn't hear him from back there. Second, my question would be, what platform did you use to mint your NFTs? If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Near. And what if that's the platform as far as the blockchain, what website are you using to mint your NFTs?
Yeah, so Near is the blockchain, and the two big like NFT marketplaces there are Paras.id, Paras.id, and Mintbase, Mintbase.io. And Paras is like it's more focused on collectibles like trading cards. So it's like more like Wax, like high editions, people swapping things for a little bit lower prices, a little bit more accessible, friendly, peer to peer. Also kind of like Hen, kind of that vibe of like artists supporting each other. There's some well around too. You can check out the leaderboard and their stats and see what's selling. And then Mintbase is more like Base has this vision of NFTs being not just for like art and this kind of thing, but they're really into the utility NFTs, being able to sell NFTs as tickets, for selling out stadiums and all those kinds of things. And that's also where there's more of the one-of-one art sales, and where Kodame has our shop is at Mintbase. And what Mintbase also does is it gives you a JavaScript API, so you can make your own website to sell your NFTs. Not just their interface for selling it, but you can like integrate them into your WordPress or your website or whatever else. So Mintbase is
Like
for
your own
people who are
store,
like
too?
a little bit next level, and for us is a great place to start at.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, if anybody else has some questions, I see we got some more people that just loaded in. We're talking about NFTs with Starpause. Got all of his NFTs up on the wall if you want to check it out. Shout out to my friends from NFT NYC that just joined us. Starpause, I want to ask a couple more questions before we jump off the stage and go hang out with the audience and take a look at some of your art pieces. I wanted to ask, what inspires you? What gets you to create these awesome pieces?
Yeah, so for me, like NFTs are like feels a bit like visual journaling. It's something where I've got the urge to create, and knowing that I can like chisel it forever onto the blockchain and have it sit there is just like so exciting and makes it addicting, and something where it's like if a week goes by where I haven't minted something, I start getting the itch, you know? So I would say that like I've been a visual artist for, I was fortunate enough to be raised by two parents who were very into photography, the arts, were always encouraging of me being creative. So it's been part of my life forever, in different degrees throughout my life. But when I started getting into NFTs, like my visual output just exploded. Like I've become like super prolific compared to where I've been putting my energy at. Previous to NFT space, like a lot of my focus was on music for like many years, and visual arts was still part of that. And I also do like visuals for people's sets and like video synthesis and things like that. So I'm more into like real time graphics, animation, and things like that. So a lot of it comes from just like looking at the times. So like if we look at this uh Chikari piece, that was when she got um taken out of the Olympics for weed. Like stopped her from being in the Olympics because of weed. And so I had to like do this piece just out of protest saying like Shakari's number one. I don't care if she's in the Olympics or not. Like she's the best. So a lot of them are just like responses to what's going on.
And that's awesome, that response and being able to turn it into artwork. That's art, right?
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, man, and I keep on it. Another thing I wanted to ask, my last two questions. Again, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to hit the raise hand button so you can ask it. I was gonna ask you, what would you say to someone that's brand new, just learning about NFTs, wants to get inspired and wants to know a little bit more on like what to do or like where to go and how to get started?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's very in line with the where to get started with DAO question. I think that like hopping into a community is the best thing that you can do. So kind of like look around, see what looks interesting to you, what vibes with you, find your tribe a bit that way, and like just start hanging out and seeing what you can learn from people. Because the amount of stuff you can learn is endless. So just kind of like trusting your instinct based on aesthetics is probably like a good first bet, and then just like exploring from there. Again, I think the create base is a great starting point, and there's so many places you can go from there. Um, that would be like my first stop is probably like create base, and then also like Codeme, my art and tech organization. Every year we put out a call for proposals. So if you're interested in like teaming up and being part of a bigger show, and a big advantage of being part of a group is that everybody promotes each other. And promotion is so hard in this space. There's so much noise. So when you're part of a group, you can all promote each other. It's got this band effect where like everybody rises together. So definitely like team up with some people, find some friends, and find your crew. Check out Create Base.
Oh yeah, and with Ken Bozak's community, we have a saying that I'm sure a lot of people are used to. The rising tides raises all ships, and we want to
Yep.
raise everybody's ships. It's not about making money for me; it's making money for all of us. So, really love what you're preaching, and I love all you guys for being here. It's always great to see all of your lovely virtual faces. I'm gonna be wrapping up and with questions here on stage and ending the live stream. We'll jump off the stage and take a look at his art together. I wanted to give you the chance to go ahead and plug, how can people can find you and, where your channels are.
For sure, yeah. So I'm Starpause like everywhere on the internet. So if you just look up StarPause, it's me. Um, and I'm on Twitter a lot, and like yeah, all the channels. And then besides checking out like CreateBase that I've mentioned, if you're interested in DAOs, check out astrodao.com. That's the DAO launcher platform that I run, and it allows you to create your own DAO and can get a DAO up and running in less than 10 minutes. It's super fast and easy to launch a DAO. You own the smart contract, it's your DAO. and then you can like configure it to do whatever you want with it. So definitely check out that. Check out Codame.com, CODAME, and we're on Twitter as well. We're working on our next themed art show, and we'll be doing a call for proposals shortly. So keep an eye out for that.
Super cool. It's always a pleasure to have such inspiring and amazing artists here on the stage for Yummy NFTs. Guys, I hope you come back and join us next week. We'll have another fascinating artist on stage at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Blockchain Universe. You guys got another insightful moment with Starpause today. Hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us. Guys, feel free to come jump up on stage and say goodbye to the camera. Come on up here. Come on up. I want to get everybody on stage. Wave to the camera. Let's say goodbye. Come on up. Don't be afraid. Hit the B button if you're on your controller. If you're on a computer, like my buddy Simon here, press the F button to jump up here. You can go ahead and jump up on stage. Come say goodbye to camera. Truly blessed. I know you jumped in at the last second. Oh, Evolvin always reminded me. Guys, do me a favor and hit the rate button. If you click the You Are Here button above the menu, you can go ahead and rate this event. Give me some love. Let the alt space algorithm know that, you know, we're doing a fascinating job. And guys, it's always great to have you. Takanada, come on, jump up on stage. Let's say goodbye to the stream. Thank you guys for joining us. It's always great to have you guys here. If you're seeing this, you could be here too. Come join us in alt space. Oh, Mike Mark, press the F button to jump up on stage, buddy. Takanada, you can press the B button on your controller to jump up on stage. I mean, you just keep going back and forth. But anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and take this picture and call it a day from there. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We're out.